If you have a case in the classroom, which of course, with what we've seen so far, we've had kids test positive in Bucks County that haven't even been in school yet. So clearly, kids are still going to test positive throughout this, regardless whether school opens or not.
So open schools, Dr. David Damsker says. He's the director of the Bucks County Health Department and an expert in public health. He says he knows many, including state health experts, disagree with him.
Say a 10th grader in a high school gets coronavirus. That kid obviously goes home for the 10-day isolation period from the onset of symptoms. The rest of the classes keep going wearing full masks in a modified quarantine situation, and we move forward. And we don't anticipate, if they follow the rules, that we'll see any spread from that.
Dr. Damsker says any school spread you see is from those who are not wearing masks or not social distancing. He says there have been no documented cases where people have followed CDC guidelines and gotten COVID, even in schools.
When you send people home and you close schools and all that, you might as well not even ever offer an in-person option.
Dr. Damsker says his opinion may not be popular, but he stands behind it. He says kids are safer in school, in person, and for every day of the week.
We believe that being in school in a structured, safe environment is better for children a lot of times than going out and doing whatever they want to do, hanging out together without masks on.
He says he's urging Bucks County schools to operate on a modified quarantine. And if a case or two have been found in schools, he's urging them not to shut down, especially if the cases have no contact with each other. He wants them to enforce masking at all times, and while those who test positive should be removed, he says if common sense and universal masking is happening, then the spread of the virus shouldn't.
We haven't been able to document of anybody who's been put on modified quarantine wearing their mask has spread that to anybody else.
And he says Bucks County has had its lowest numbers running in the state for months. He says even if the Department of Health doesn't agree with him. Deanna Durante, NBC10 News.
The Pennsylvania Department of Health told NBC10 it appreciates the work of community partners like Bucks County, but says, quote, regardless of what the county may be stating, quarantine is an essential tool to stopping the spread of COVID-19. Our guidance and that of the CDC is to quarantine at home for 14 days after coming in contact with someone who has tested positive for COVID-19.